recording now. I will share my screen. Okay, can you see this terminal?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start with the uh, तो okay, swapping सबको समझ आ गया था क्या? Like I was looking at the lecture and I felt कि उसमें थोड़ा confusion था. So is there anyone who wants to look at it again? Okay, I guess not then. So let's move to increment operators. इसमें भी थोड़ा confusion था. Okay, so I plus so we are discussing I plus plus and plus plus I का difference. So can anyone tell me? Let me get rid of this. Yeah, can anyone tell me what will be the output of this code? Hello. Hello. Uh, can you see my screen? So can anyone try to guess what will be the output of this code?
0, 1, 2, 2.
0, 1, and then 2, 2. 2, 2. Okay, okay. Yeah, let's run this. So yes, 0, 1 and 2, 2. तो बेसिकली हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे कि तो जब अपन ये आई प्लस प्लस कर रहे हैं पोस्ट इंक्रीमेंट ऑपरेटर, तो पोस्ट इंक्रीमेंट इसलिए क्योंकि आई के बाद हमने इसको लगाया, तो ये ऐसे बिहेव करेगा कि बेसिकली हम लोग ए में आई डाल दें एंड देन आई इक्वल टू आई प्लस वन कर रहे हैं. सो पोस्ट इंक्रीमेंट मतलब कि द ओवरऑल ये जो एक्सप्रेशन है इसकी वैल्यू आई होगी एंड देन आई इक्वल टू आई प्लस वन होगा. कंपेयर टू दिस केस प्री इंक्रीमेंट, क्योंकि इसमें हमने प्लस प्लस वेरिएबल से पहले लगाया है, इसमें प्री इंक्रीमेंट में इंक्रीमेंट पहले होगा एंड देन असाइनमेंट हो रहा है बी इक्वल टू आई. तो इस ओवरऑल एक्सप्रेशन की वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंटेड आई की होगी. तो इसलिए जैसे यहाँ पे आई जीरो था तो आई स्टिल जीरो, तो इसलिए ए की वैल्यू जीरो हो जाएगी एंड यहाँ पे भी आई जीरो है तो फिर आई की वैल्यू अब वन हो गई. फिर जब हम इधर आएंगे तो आई की वैल्यू वन है, सो वन प्लस वन इस आई की वैल्यू वापस से टू हो जाएगी एंड देन बी में वैल्यू टू हो जाएगी. So when we print this, it will print a is 0 and I is 1. And here it will print b is 2 and I is 2. Cool. So this is increment. So you can see it थोड़ा सा difference है. तो basically post increment में the increment happens after, तो जो overall expression की value है that doesn't reflect the increment. In plus plus I the expression का value also shows the increment. Cool. So I hope this is clear. So we can move to the next thing. Okay, so next thing is loops के साथ थोड़ा play करते हैं. So for.c. Okay, so इस कोड का आउटपुट क्या होगा? हेलो.
Sir, it will
So
print
1
numbers
to
from 1 to 5.
1 to 5, yeah. Okay, ठीक है. So let's run this. 1 to 5 print हो गया. ठीक है. तो now let's try to change it to a while loop. तो कैसे करेंगे? Anyone can guess?
While I is less than 6, printf and then I plus plus.
ओके सो बेसिकली ये जो कंडीशन है i लेस देन 6 इसको हम while में डाल देते हैं. इसको तो हमने while में डाल दिया. ओके फिर क्या करें? प्रिंट वाला भी इधर डाल देते हैं. इस i प्लस प्लस का क्या करें?
सर ये do में आ जाएगा printf के बाद.
प्रिंट f के बाद इधर. ओके एंड i इक्वल टू 1.
सर ये शुरू में लिख देंगे.
ठीक है. तो बेसिकली अब ये जो प्रोग्राम है दिस इज इक्विवेलेंट टू द फॉर लूप. तो वी कैन रन दिस एंड ट्राई टू कन्विंस आवरसेल्व्स. तो इस प्रोग्राम दिस प्रोग्राम आल्सो प्रिंट्स 1 2 3 4 5. So now let's try something. So now if I change this I plus plus to plus plus I, what will happen?
No difference.
No difference, right? Because I की value anyways पहले भी 1 से बढ़ रही थी, अभी भी 1 से बढ़ेगी, and we are not assigning it to another variable, so this should not make any difference. So indeed, when we run this, so it is still 1 to 5. So if we go back to the for loop, so similarly in the for loop as well, if I change this plus plus I plus plus to plus plus I, this should not make any difference, right? So indeed, it does not make any difference. So basically, जब आप for loop में इसको use कर रहे हो, तो it doesn't matter. You can use either. Cool. So I hope this is clear. ठीक है. So now let's move to do while. So do while में भी same exercise करते हैं. Let's say this is a do while program. Okay, what will be the output of this?
Same, sir.
1 to 6. Sir, 1 to 6.
Cool. There's a lot of noise. Can you? Okay. Cool. So let's try to change this to the while loop. So any thoughts on how to do that? So I guess we can try like the same thing. So %d slash n I plus plus I, या फिर I plus plus either. So is this while loop equivalent to this do while?
No, sir.
in
Achha.
terms of output, it is same.
Okay. So
But
can
in
we?
do while,
Yeah.
but in do while, sir, loop will be executed once without the checking of the condition I less than equals to 6.
Right. तो जैसे अगर मैं इसको i less than 0 कर दूं इस कंडीशन को, तो do while, let's see what do while does. तो do while do while prints 1, क्योंकि in do while you run once without checking the condition, right? तो इसलिए एक बार print हुआ, but while में क्या होगा? while में एक बार भी print नहीं होगा, क्योंकि we test for the condition before entering the while loop. तो how do I write a equivalent program? do while को while में कैसे convert करें?
Sir,
So
initial
we can write condition inside the while loop.
कंडीशन इनसाइड द व्हाइल लूप, तो अंदर आके इफ में डालूं, क्या करूं?
Yes, sir.
इफ में डालूं, अच्छा फिर
Sir, we can use break statement also. I mean, first we should write print statement and then we should write if statement, and in that we can write break.
ओके ओके कूल, ठीक है, वो थोड़ा ज्यादा एडवांस्ड हो गया. सो वी विल कम टू ब्रेक लेटर, बट अ सिंपलर अप्रोच इज वी कैन जस्ट कॉपी दिस. तो बेसिकली एक बार हम while से पहले सेम कोड रन कर रहे हैं, फिर हम टेस्ट करके दोबारा से सेम कोड रन कर रहे हैं. So this should also be equivalent. So now
Yes.
if I do this, this printed one. So I hope this is clear. इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट है? While for आपस में we converted them. So the point is to convince you that these are all like, these are just for making programs simple. So use one where you want to, but if you know while loop, you can kind of do everything with it. But it's good to know all of them. Okay, cool. So I'll take that as a no question. तो अब कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग करते हैं. तो धीरे धीरे लेट्स ट्राई टू जैसे ये प्रोग्राम है, सो लेट्स ट्राई टू let's see, और हो गया इक्विवेलेंट वाइल हो गया. ओके, इनको इन्फिनिट लूप्स में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, ठीक है. सो विल कम टू द ब्रेक स्टफ नाउ, ठीक है. so given this program, I can turn this, so I can take this condition from here and I can put it here. So this is an equivalent program as well. So if I run this, you should see the same output 1 2 3 4 5, right? क्योंकि this is basically what for is doing. तो जो plus plus I है, so when you come to the end of the loop, that is when it executes plus plus I. So that's why this is equivalent to.
Sir, I have a small doubt. Sir, how did you auto indent? Like the plus plus I was one space behind. How did you auto indent?
Okay, yeah. So you can, if you go, so this is Vim first of all. So select everything and press equal to, and this should auto indent. So if this is terribly indented, so I can go and select the entire thing and press equal to. This should auto indent everything.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So ठीक है, this is equivalent, right? I pulled this plus plus I at the bottom. Then I can pull this I equal to 1 at the top. So this is also equivalent program, right? क्योंकि for is basically running, जो भी यहाँ पे होता है, for is basically running that before going into the loop. So if I do this, this is also equivalent program. So I can run this and see yes 1 2 3 4 5 आ रहा है अभी भी. तो अब ये एक चीज बची इसमें, तो इसको कैसे हम अंदर डालें? तो someone had that suggestion. So what we can do is I less than 6 को हम इसमें if में डाल देते हैं. तो we want to say कि only execute this अगर I is less than 6. Otherwise just break out of the loop. ठीक है, तो if I do this, this should also be equivalent program. So when I run this, it still prints 1 2 3 4 5. So basically what we have done is so अब ये बाहर वाला जो है this has become an infinite loop. तो अगर अंदर कुछ नहीं होगा तो it will keep on running forever. But to keep the equivalent program, what we did is कि अगर I less than 6 है तब तो ये रन करो, otherwise break कर दो, loop से break कर जाओ. So this is also this is a way. So we basically did 3 steps to turn the original for loop we had here into an infinite loop. So हमने I equal to 1 को ऊपर पुल आउट किया, प्लस I को अंदर पुल किया, और जो कंडीशन थी उसको if में डाल के else में ब्रेक लगा दिया. So yeah, we can pause here. So any question? Is everyone convinced these are equivalent programs?
Sir, the last program, why you are saying it's an infinite loop?
Just this. So just this, not the whole program, but just this construct is infinite loop. So if I have this, for example, अगर मैं ये लिखता हूँ, तो this should not finish, right? ये चलता ही जा रहा है. तो I have to press Ctrl C to break it. तो ये जो है this is a infinite loop, क्योंकि we are not telling it कि किस condition पे break करना है. तो just this for thing is infinite loop, but since we have put break in here, इसलिए it as a whole this is not an infinite loop. So since we have put break here, this is still equivalent program to the original program. Cool. तो अब एक चीज और करते हैं. तो let's say my original program was like this. ठीक है, इसको तो basically int I को मैंने बाहर से अंदर डाल दिया, and if I run this, it still shows 1 2 5, so we are all good. So now is this a equivalent program? तो basically जो int I था, so previously it was like this, and now what I'm doing is int I equal to 1 को मैंने loop से बाहर डाल दिया, और बाकी सब तो सेम ही है. तो is this a equivalent program?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, the scope of the variable changes. If we declare it inside the for loop, then we can't access it outside.
Okay, nice. You guys are very smart. Awesome. So so basically in this example, if I try to print I outside of for loop, let's see what the compiler says. So compiler is saying कि पता नहीं है I कौन सा है, like this is a undeclared identifier. So the reason for that is basically हमने int क्योंकि for में declare किया है int I, तो ये बस for में ही आप use कर सकते हो. If you try to use it outside, so compiler doesn't know what this is anymore. Compared to and now if we compare to the our original our equivalent program, तो यहाँ पे इसको रन करते हैं. तो इक्विवेलेंट प्रोग्राम का बेसिकली मीनिंग ये है कि जो बिहेवियर एक प्रोग्राम का है इट शुड बी द बिहेवियर ऑफ द सेकंड प्रोग्राम एज वेल. तो नाउ इफ आई रन दिस, तो प्रीवियसली जब मैं प्रिंट कर रहा था तो ये अपने को कंपाइलेशन एरर दे रहा था, बट इफ आई रन दिस नाउ इट डिड नॉट गिव मी एनी कंपाइलेशन एरर. ये 1 to 6 तक प्रिंट कर दिया. तो दिस इज नॉट अ इक्विवेलेंट प्रोग्राम. So any thoughts on how to make it equivalent? So that यहाँ पे भी मेरे को basically compiler warning आ जाए. Let's try something. तो एक ब्रैकेट लगा के देखते हैं क्या होता है. Yes. So just by putting this bracket, what I did is I created a new scope. So basically I is now defined only inside these brackets. अब अगर मैं printf इस ब्रैकेट से बाहर करूंगा तो it will start showing me compilation error. So if I run this, this is showing me a error कि I don't know what I is. So now basically with these brackets it is a equivalent program to this for loop. ये सबको समझ आ गया क्या? या फिर
Yes,
scope? Okay, cool. So let me know if some of you don't know, not familiar with scope and stuff. So,
sir. So we can add as many as curly braces. I mean, there is no limit.
there is no limit as such, but you need to be careful on how you are adding them and where you are adding them. Otherwise, otherwise you might introduce random errors. So for example, if I do this,
Okay.
then then basically that I is dead in the scope. तो अब यहाँ पे ये I इसको मिल नहीं रहा क्योंकि ये I इसी स्कोप में खत्म हो गया.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, great. So this is great. ठीक है, फिर we will let's revisit. So this is great. Anything else we can do here? देखते हैं. हमने pretty much for के तीनों statements को हमने pull out कर लिया, right? Assignment pull out कर लिया, conditional expression को if में डाल दिया, plus I को अंदर डाल दिया. ठीक है, so this should be fine. So another way is another equivalent program is this. So basically what I did here is अपन ने जो condition थी उसको हमने invert कर दिया. So I less than 6 का inversion is I greater than equal to 6. और हम कह रहे हैं कि जैसे ये हो तो break out, otherwise you keep printing. So this is also an equivalent program. So this should behave in the same way. So if I run this, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. So basically we removed थोड़ा सा cleaner हो गया ये क्योंकि हमें else हमने हटा ही दिया. and we move this whole thing, this break inside this inverted if. Any questions about this one? So looks like break is clear to you guys. Like, yeah, since we are using break. Okay, cool. So let's see. Actually, that is all I had. I was expecting there will be more questions. So we can revisit some of these equality things. I think there are some confusion around these two. ठीक है. So basically there was some confusion during the lecture in equal to versus equal to. So we covered this in the previous help session as well. I'll just quickly go through it and then we can maybe look at nested loops after this. So इसमें what will be the output of this? Hello.
Equal to.
Okay, just equal to. So if I run this, there are warnings, we can ignore them for now, but the output is equal to. तो basically हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे, I'll just go through it quickly, is basically हम, तो ये जो variables हैं, we can assume they are boxes, right? So we are putting 3 in a box called A, and then this whole thing is evaluating to 3. So since if of 3 is true, it will go inside and it will execute this. यहाँ पे now A में value is 3, so it is evaluating this as 3 equals to 2. And since if of 3 equal to 2 is false, this is not executed. So that's why we only get equal to and we do not get equal.
So can you please explain the first one again?
हाँ, तो ये जो है, this is doing two things. So this is when you put, so generally ऐसे तो हम देखते हैं, right? Like a equal to 3 लिखा हुआ देखते हैं. So the confusing thing here is we have put it in if. But एक बार उसको ignore करते हैं. तो when you do a equal to 3, तो this what it basically does is put 3 inside a, है ना? a की value 3 हो जाती है. तो हमने जब इसको if में डाल दिया, तो it is doing two things. It is putting 3 inside a, and it is also evaluating this whole thing as if 3, क्योंकि राइट हैंड साइड पे 3 था. तो अगर यहाँ पे 0 होता फॉर एग्जांपल, तो दिस विल बी इवैल्यूएटेड एज कि 0 को a में डालो और फिर राइट if 0. Since if 0 is false, this will not be executed. तो इस केस में अब कुछ भी प्रिंट नहीं होगा. As we can see, a dot out के बाद कुछ भी प्रिंट नहीं होगा. Cool. So now let's go to I wanted to tell you swapping without using temporary variable, but I think you have not studied bitwise operators yet. So we can go to the nested loops actually. ओके, तो इसको थोड़ा सिंपल करते हैं पहले। ओके, तो इसमें हमने क्या किया, इसमें हमने लूप के अंदर लूप डाल दिया। सो बेसिकली पहले देयर इज, so that's why they are called nested loops. So we are putting loop inside a loop. So basically here we had a outer loop jahan I was going from 0 to 6, and then we have a inner loop jahan j is going from 0 to 6. So basically if I print I here, and if I print j here, so this will tell us like how this code is working. Let me reduce this a bit to हाँ, तो होता क्या है कि
डायग्राम देख के बनाना है, ये ऐसा वाला
can you mute yourself? हाँ, तो इसमें when we run this, तो what happens is I की वैल्यू पहले 0 होती है, फिर j की वैल्यू 0 होती है, फिर j की वैल्यू 1 होती है, फिर ये बाहर आ जाता है j वाले लूप से, फिर I की वैल्यू 1 होती है, फिर j की वैल्यू 0 होती है और j की वैल्यू 1 होती है। तो ये नेस्टेड लूप हो गया। तो बेसिकली सबसे पहले I की वैल्यू 0 हुई, फिर ये लूप के अंदर गया, यहाँ j की वैल्यू 0 है, फिर j की वैल्यू 1 है, फिर ये लूप से बाहर j के लूप से बाहर आया, देन इट विल कम I प्लस प्लस एग्जीक्यूट करेगा ये, और यहाँ I की वैल्यू 1 हो जाएगी, एंड देन इट विल अगेन कम इनसाइड द इनर लूप, यहाँ j की वैल्यू 0 है, फिर j की वैल्यू 1 है, एंड देन इट विल गो आउट। फिर सिंस I इज नाउ 2 एंड I लेस देन 2 पे हमें ब्रेक करना है, तो इट विल exit. So that's why it will print I equals 0, फिर 2 बार j प्रिंट करेगा, फिर I equals 1, फिर 2 बार j प्रिंट करेगा। तो we can look at it through our जो हमने ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन किया था उससे भी देख सकते हैं इसको। Basically what this is doing is like this. Okay, maybe this has gotten more complicated, but let's try. तो basically जो हमने पहले लूप नेस्टेड लूप लिखा था, that is equivalent to this. तो इनिशियली I में वैल्यू 0 थी, then it will check क्या I 2 से बड़ा है, if not, if so then break. तो since I is 0, it will keep going in. Then printf, it will print I equal to 0. Then it will assign j equals 0. Then it will go in and check whether so we can do this to make it more correct. Then it will go in and check whether j is greater than 2, then break. But because j is 0, it will print j as 0. Then it will make j is 1. Then it will go inside again. So j is 1, so it will not break. So then it will print j equals 1. Then it will plus plus again. So now j is 2. तो basically inner loop में पूरा complete करेगा, फिर it will come out, फिर I की value 1 होगी, and then it will go up in the outer loop. So this is how it works. I hope this is clear. तो थोड़े examples और देखते हैं to build some intuition. Let me just. तो कैन एनीवन, ओके ये थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गया, इसको अपन 6 रखते हैं पहले। तो ये रन करने पे क्या होगा? डज एनीवन वांट टू गेस?
Sir, a pattern containing I think 5 asterisks in each row.
और कितनी रोज होंगी?
5.
Okay. And if I change this, let's say I change this to 10. So what will happen now?
Sir, in each row now there will be 9, and in total there will be 5 rows.
Right. So there will be 10 stars in every row, and there will be 5 rows. So if I run this, this prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How come there are 6 rows? So 0, 1. Okay, yeah, 6 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 stars and 6 rows, and each row has 10 stars. So if I change this, so by the way, any questions up till now? Because it will start getting a bit complicated after this. If you don't understand nested loops, tell me now. Okay, so I change this to I. Now what will happen? Any guesses?
So triangle will form.
Okay. Can you explain why?
So j is less than I. So when j is greater than I, it will come to the next line, sir. So only half of the square.
Right. So first iteration में I की value is 0. So here it will not go inside. ठीक है, क्योंकि j is already not less than I. फिर next iteration में जब I की value 1 होगी, तो it will go inside once. So it will only print 1 star. फिर next time जब I की value 2 होगी, तो it will go inside twice. So it will print 2 stars. So if I run this, it basically prints out a nice triangle. Okay. Any questions here? Nice. You guys are getting everything. That's awesome. So what if I do 6 minus I? What will happen?
Inverted triangle.
Inverted triangle. Okay, great. So if I do 6 minus I get an inverted triangle. How do I print a triangle like this? So triangle like, so
We have to print white space also in that.
Okay, nice. So what should I, what should I do?
Sir, if else condition would be required for spaces and asterisks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I change this to 6, I guess.
Sir,
And
we can put 2 nested loops inside outer loop.
Okay. Okay. So So यहाँ पे, so what should be the conditions?
So first we have to print is white space and then stars.
Okay.
J less than
And
I.
yeah, J less than I, yes sir.
J less than I. And this one?
6 minus I.
It is showing me someone is waiting in the lobby. Wait. In Teams, let's see. I don't see anyone. Okay, fine. So this one will be I, and then printing a space. This one will be 6 minus I, and then printing a star. So how does this work?
So first it will go inside the loop and check the condition for white space, and if that's true then print all the white spaces and then go to second loop, then print stars and then come out of the loop.
Okay. So I'm not convinced this will print a triangle. So can you convince me?
Sir, because each time 6 elements will be printed, I mean in total, because of the given conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you mean E plus 6 minus I is 6?
Yes sir. And initially white spaces will be less and stars will be more, and finally white spaces will be more and stars will be less. So I mean that's why triangle will be printed.
Okay. So wait, did I not say this? Yeah. So when we run this, we get a inverted triangle. Okay. Is this clear to everyone why we got this triangle? Okay. I'll take that as a yes. So what if I want to print a pyramid? So let me show what I want to print. I want to print something like this. Okay, so how will I do that?
With asterisk we will also print a white space.
Like this? Or something else?
And sir, for white space
Sir,
we have to change the conditions. I
sir,
mean we have to reverse the conditions.
Reverse the conditions. So take 6 minus I there, I here, and then what?
Sir, at the back of asterisk space, white space.
At the what?
Yes, sir, we have white space.
Okay.
Yes sir.
Just like this should work. Okay.
Yes, sir, this can.
Yes, sir, this can. Okay, awesome. Cool. So nice. So looks like nested loops is clear. I'm curious, have you done this before? Or because for someone who is learning for the first time, you are surprisingly fast. Like people who have been responding on these questions.
Sir, I have done this in Java a bit.
Okay.
Sir, I had
Yeah.
done this in C++ somewhat. Means
Yes, sir.
up to
I have also done in
for
C++.
Okay.
up to
Yeah, that
And I am in
explains it.
Python.
Python. Okay. Yeah, that explains it. So for everyone else, like, are you following what is going on?
Yes.
Because okay. Okay, great. Cool. So that's great. Okay, so I guess this is all I had in the agenda. So anything else we should talk about? If not, then we can disband.
Sir, I have sent a code in the chat window. Can you please answer the last part? Z is equal to X. What's Z?
X plus minus 1. Z plus is this. Oof. Yeah, let's run this.
Sir, I had also doubt in this question because in Z finally it should print 0 and it was printing 1.
Z is printing 0.
Sir, in my computer it was printing 1.
Sir,
Yes,
zero
sir.
नहीं आना
In our
चाहिए.
computer also.
yes, sir. One will come.
One
Sir,
will
1 आना चाहिए.
0. Interesting.
Sir, it is giving warning.
Unsequenced modification and access to it. So what happens if you put a bracket here in your computer? Bracket around plus x.
Sir, I didn't try with brackets.
Okay, you
One
can
is
try
given,
it.
sir.
Still 1 after putting bracket.
Yes, sir.
And what is the value of x?
Four, sir.
Huh?
The final value of x is 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, so x and y are consistent, 4 and 2. Y is also 2.
Yes, sir.
Strange. Which this is strange. Yeah, z should be 0, right? Because plus x is so I guess x is 3 and plus x is 4 here. So
Yes,
3 by should be
Sir, according to the
Sir, I've run this code on
the
compiler. Shall I share my screen?
operator is run first.
Yeah.
But sir, it will first calculate the denominator and then the value will be assigned in the numerator. Isn't it so?
Sir,
Yes,
first
sir.
the
Plus
plus will assign value.
Sorry.
Sir, first plus plus x will assign value. Then after numerator.
Sir, as per the priority order, the plus plus x will be operated first. Then the value of x with that will be 4 will be put in numerator as well as denominator.
I see. Yeah, looks like somehow. Okay, yeah, I'll have to look at this in more detail. Yeah, I'll let you know offline. Is this asked in Piazza already?
Sir, it is assignment to question.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, maybe because of different terminals. I mean, we are using Cygwin.
Yeah, I think it's a C version issue, but yeah, I'll find more about this. How about you ask it in Piazza so someone can post it?
Also,
And
sir,
I'll
there was an issue. Uh, if we declare z as an integer variable, the outcome was 1. Z is equals to 1. And if we declared it as float, the outcome was 0.75. This is what
0.75 is 3/4.
3/4.
So X is float, right?
No, sir, z is float.
Z is float. That shouldn't matter then. I don't think that's right. But Z is 4 now. Oh. Yeah, that shouldn't matter because right hand side is still an integer division. So this has nothing to do with, this is still an integer division. Like this is not going to be interpreted as float just because the left hand side is float. Right. So in this program it was giving so in this program it was giving z as 0, and if I change it to float, it gives z still as 0. Yeah. So
Sir,
this,
how can z be 0?
I think, yeah, like the order in which things are evaluated, that's going to change the output. So I understand the order that you are mentioning. Basically, you are saying that x will be 4, and then numerator will then also be 4. So it will be 4/4. That should give 1. In my understanding, the way it is executing on my machine is x is first 4, and then here the x is still 3. So this is giving 3/4, which is becoming 0.
Sir, you can use the float operation, float x and then plus plus. It will give the result 3/4 or something. We can check it.
Yeah, 3/4. Yeah, so I think on my machine it's running that way. So I think someone, whoever is getting 1 as an output, if you can also post which machine you are on, and then which version of compiler you are using. So like CLang minus minus version or GCC minus minus version. So that should inform us. Then I guess we can look into it. But yeah, it looks like it's a C issue. Okay. So anything else?
Sir, can you once explain that use of continue?
Continue. Sure. So if we go back to for.c, so let's say we had this kind of a program. Right, so we had 0 to 6, and if we put if I is less than 2, and then I say continue. So what this will do is, so if this condition is true, then it will go inside, right? Inside the if, then it will do continue. So what continue does is not do rest of the for loop and just directly go back to the to this I++. So it will skip this printf and directly go to this I++. So if I run this, so if I run this, I get 2, 3, 4, 5. So notice that it did not print 0 and 1, because for 0 and 1, since this condition was true, it did a continue. So it did not print 0 and 1. But when I was 2, it didn't go inside continue. It didn't go inside the if, so it went and print the I equals 2, 3, 4, 5. So as we can see when we run this 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a little different than break. So break breaks out of the loop completely, and continue skips everything that is after continue. So if I had some statements here, like before continue, and this is after continue. Now if I run this, so before continue and is printed for 0 and 1, but after continue is not printed for 0 and 1. And then before continue and after continue both are printed for rest of the values. So continue will skip everything after continue. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I guess we can stop here. This was a fun session. I hope you got to learn something new.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, in the lab 3 assignment, where we have to find so we have to find the Armstrong number. Sir, I think I was able to solve the program, but I used 6 variable. Is there any other way to reduce the number of variable?
Was that a looping question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll have to look it up 1 second.
sir, we can use as many variable as we want in assignment.
Yeah. Sure. That is true. But generally speaking, like if the code is more readable, so if it is less complex than it has to be, then generally speaking, it is considered a better program. So of course, you in some cases you can even write programs with like very less number of variables, but you don't want to hurt readability. So if someone looks at your program, they should be able to figure out what is going on. So I'm trying to pull up the third assignment. Write a C program to take a positive integer n, print all the Armstrong numbers from 1 to n. A number is Armstrong number if it satisfies either of the following conditions. Single digit number. For a k digit number, sum of the digits raised to k is equal to the number itself. For example, a 3-digit number will be Armstrong if the sum of the cubes of digits is equal to the number itself. So 153 is this, right? Okay. So how did you solve it with 6 variables?
Sir, 1 minute, sir. I have to pull out the program, please. Yes, sir. Sir, I use a for loop for I is equal to 1 to n. And whatever I am not, I will tell after this. I have done all the things inside the for loop, inside this for loop.
Okay.
So first, I declared variable digit and 2 temporary variable and sum and the place and the val, means there are 6 variables.
Wait. Sum, 2 temporary variables.
It's a temp1, temp2.
Oh, how about you just ping the code, no, in the chat?
Sorry, 1 minute. Copy. So I have to open my PC. Please wait. Give me 2 minutes to.
Okay. Anyone else has any comments or something in the meantime?
Sir, we can compare character variable with integer type.
Compare the what?
Char variables with int. I mean with integer.
Let's try. So by the way, this is, you maybe could, but it's just poor programming practice. But let's try it. Like these are good for puzzles, but in real programs, you don't want to do that. Okay, yeah, looks like you can. So yeah, so A is I think 65. So if I make this 67, yeah, then it prints it. So basically, there's a ASCII table. Have you seen ASCII table?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically, according to the ASCII table, like capital A, I think has a value of 65. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that's why when we compare it with 67, this is printing true, as in this is printing.
Sir, I have shared it in the chat box. Please take a look.
Can you copy and paste this so I don't have to?
Sir, I have sent the photo of my programmer for Armstrong number.
Yeah, so instead of the photo, can you paste it so I don't have to?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Sir, in question assignment 3, question number 4, where we have to find the cosine value. I've written the program. The program is running finely, but the thing is, I'm getting a logical error. Like the output is coming a bit wrong. तो close है पर पूरा ठीक नहीं है. Can I share my code?
Yeah, I think overall, so this will not fail for us. I think ask it in Piazza, so we'll be happy to help.
Oh,
But
okay, sir.
yeah.
Sir, please take a look. I have no. Is it fine now?
Yeah. I'm making an exception here, but we shouldn't do this. So, okay, so your question is, you have used 6 variables, digit, temp1, temp2, sum, place, value, and your question is how to do this with less number of variables. So first of all, we can get rid of temp2 for sure, right? Like you can just reuse temp1. Right, so one variable is gone. Then the other is place equals temp1 percent 10. Temp1 equals temp1 divide 10. Value is equal 1. Int I equals 0. Oh, this is not good programming. So this is also I and this is also I. So this will cause issues. Yeah, you should call this something else. Then value multiply. So this is you're taking the power and then doing the sum. And then you are checking if sum is equal to I, then print it. So yeah, digit you anyways need. So I think generally speaking, like the scope could have been done better. So you can move stuff where they are needed instead of declaring them outside. So place is this, value is this, sum is this. Yeah, I think this looks okay. This looks okay. So since these are inside scope, you don't have to worry about these variables. Yeah, this looks fine to me. I think this is a pretty readable code. Like I can make out what the code is doing. Yeah, I think the code looks fine. Like if you can try hard to reduce the number of variables. So for example, this while loop could have been written as for int j equals 0, j less than, or like you can loop directly on the digits. So digits equals 0. I divide something like pow 10 comma digits. I guess you were not allowed to use pow. So you could have done something like this, but yeah, it's not very, doesn't make too much of a difference. Yeah, I think this code is fine. Like this seems to be working, and yeah. Cool. Yeah. Otherwise, like you don't really have any limitation on number of variables, so it's okay.
Please run it once again so that let me sure that this is working.
Oh, did I break something? I think I broke something. So what did I break? I moved place and value inside. And I also changed this thing. Yeah, I think I broke something. But yeah, overall, like the only variable I could say was your temp2. So you can just reassign temp1 to I, since you no longer need what was in here. So yeah. Enter number of you want to check as palindrome. Okay, yeah, let's ask these questions in Piazza. Like this one-on-one thing is not very scalable. And there's another question: echo characters typed on screen until end of line. I don't know what this is.
Sir, this question was asked by sir in lecture class. The user will input a character and you have to print echo of that character until end of the line.
This was, I think, discussed in the lecture in great detail. So I recommend
Sir, the code I typed didn't work. I think I typed the very same code, but it did not work.
Yeah, you can again ask that in Piazza. So, or you can pause the lecture video and just type the same code. So yeah, if you ask it in Piazza, like we can help you. Okay. Can we use math.h files in this assignment? Yeah, this is again a Piazza question. So some of these decisions are not made by me. So better to ask them on Piazza. So the TA who designed the assignment can answer those questions. Because so we want you to learn loops and we want you to learn all these constructs we are teaching. If you directly use math.h stuff, then you may not need loops. So that's why we discourage them sometimes. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's stop here. I have